Hey everybody, this is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. So we've got another example of police brutality in this country, as if we really need any more, right? Well, back in 2013, Phillip and Cheryl Dubose had double parked their vehicle. They got a ticket for it. Phillip got pissed off and punched his steering wheel, or slapped it, or smacked it, or whatever. During this, venting of frustration on his steering wheel, which is kind of silly all on its own, but still, he honked the horn. This prompted the 6 officers to come back. 6 officers, yes, 6 officers were named in this suit I'm talking about. So 6 officers demand that he gets out of the car. So he gets out of the car, and they beat the living crap out of this guy. He said as soon as he stepped out of there, they started punching and kicking him. They pulled his arms behind his back, slammed him down, smacked his face up against the pavement, kicked him, punched him, did all of these other things, sprayed him with mace, pulled his arms up behind his shoulders. And one of the officers had turned off his body microphone so that the assault couldn't be recorded. This was a verbal recitation of the officer saying that. And another officer told Dubose, after he'd gotten the crap knocked out of him, "Look at your face now, wise guy." Maybe that was the Italian guy. I'll get into the names here in a minute. So they took pictures of this guy's face and laughed and joked about it. This is directly after it happened. They're taking pictures of this guy's face and laughing about it. And then they take one of the pictures over to his wife and say, "When is he your husband, Missy?" What is wrong with these people? Who does that? What kind of an animal does that? So as a result of this altercation, if you can even call it that, it's more like a gangbang beatdown. So Phillip sustained concussion, 2 orbital fractures, eye injuries, shoulder injuries, multiple abrasions. I mean, the dude was beaten to a pulp, literally. His face was all jacked up. They took him to a hospital for treatment, and then moved him to Cooper University, where they kept him shackled to the bed. And then they charged him with disorderly conduct, aggravated assault of a police officer, resisting arrest, and obstructing law enforcement. Now, lucky for Phillip Dubose that the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office in 2014 dropped those charges. They dropped them because there was no evidence to support those charges. In fact, Dubose used the fact that they dropped those charges against the officers. Dubose, in his complaint, stated that such a dismissal provided governmental acknowledgement that no probable cause to support those charges had ever existed. And if that's the fact, then there was no reason for him to have been arrested in the first place, and that's where his 7-count lawsuit came from. He claimed that his constitutional rights were violated, cited the injuries, caused him to incur serious medical bills and other monetary damages. I mean, think about that. The police are allowed to beat the crap out of you and then make you pay for the medical treatment that you receive. If I go out and start a fight with somebody, guess who gets to pay for the medical treatment for the other person? I do. By law, he can sue me, and I have to pay for it. And that's the way it should be. That's why you don't go start fights. You don't fight people as an adult. It is the most ridiculous thing to fight somebody as an adult, like a bunch of damn juveniles. I mean, I understand that there are a lot of cases where things have to be solved in that manner. That's life, and it's never going to change. Some men need to just fight it out. But in a lot of cases, in most cases, fighting is just juvenile bullshit. And it results in all of this kind of stuff. And so we've got these officers, just a bunch of delinquents, as I call them, adult delinquents, running around just beating the crap out of people. So they asked for $525,000 in judgment, as well as punitive damages, taxable costs, and attorney fees for his lawyer, Alfonso Gambone. The defendants were 6 city police officers: Richard Zanni, Angel Santiago, Joseph Camp, Nicholas Caprio, Joshua Soper, and Miguel Martinez. Sounds like Italian and Hispanic mafia or something like it. And maybe that sounds racist. I don't care. It's just kind of funny that whenever you get a group of the same type of person together, they often do things that they wouldn't normally do by themselves, let's just say. So it really indicates mob mentality when it comes to the police, which brings me back to points I've made in previous videos where I call them a gang. That's what they are. They're a gang. The men in blue, that's their color, blue. Blue is their gang color. They run around wearing the same kind of uniform, wearing the same colors, treating people in the same way. They go around taxing people through citations and arresting them if they don't comply. They're nothing more than a mafia. Just a gang of ragtag idiots hopped up on steroids, acting like they own everything. And unfortunately, in this country, they do. Because they get away with everything. In fact, they get away with it because we don't hold them accountable. After this lawsuit in which the Dubose family was awarded $500,000 from the city, part of that settlement was so that the police didn't have to admit that they did anything wrong. So part of the settlement was that Phillip and Cheryl Dubose would have to say that, oh, the cops didn't do anything wrong. No, they just gave me $500,000 because they liked me, I guess. Right. What kind of ridiculous thing is that where the city will pay somebody $500,000 and then say, hey, to all you taxpayers out there, just wanted to let you know that we just handed over $500,000 of your money to these fine people, Phillip and Cheryl, but we didn't do anything wrong. There was no real reason for us to have given them $500,000. We just thought it was appropriate. But hey, look at the loss. Look at the settlement. Both Phillip and Cheryl both said that we didn't do anything wrong. I mean, how ridiculous is that, right? It's pretty ridiculous. Even though on paper it says they didn't do anything wrong, the fact that they paid out $500,000 is proof that they did. It's proof that they knew that if it went to court, it's likely that a judge would have rendered even more of a settlement, or a jury would have awarded even more of a settlement to this man and his wife. And what's funny is that Angel Santiago, one of the officers here, is also facing another lawsuit from 5 female city employees who claim sexual misconduct spanning several years. Santiago hasn't worked for the department since August 2013, and a Guy Mari, who is the police chief, declined to comment on the settlement, but said the matter was investigated by the police department's Internal Affairs Bureau and the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office. As a result, no internal or criminal charges were levied against any officer. And there you go. So all they have to do is buy you off and you shut up. I'm sorry, but I would have a real hard time making any kind of a settlement, even if it meant me risking getting absolutely no money whatsoever. I'd rather walk away broke than to sign on a piece of paper that said they didn't do anything wrong, because every single one of those men should have been charged for a gang assault. I don't know if there's a charge specific to that, but it should be. You talk about them passing these laws where you can't sag your pants because it increases the likelihood that you're a gang member. Yeah, maybe we should just outlaw the color blue because it increases the likelihood that you're a cop. It's just sad. I mean, you read about this stuff all the time. And the reason why I did a video over this particular instance is because of the settlement, the outcome, and how hypocritical it is to say, oh, we gave him $500,000, but we didn't do anything wrong. Right. Everybody that has a brain is going to believe you because you're an idiot. I'm being sarcastic, of course, but I think you understand my point. So it's important that we don't let them walk away without accountability, because the only punishment that was doled out the day that they granted that $500,000 settlement. The only punishment was doled out to the American taxpayers. The taxpayers are the ones that got punished that day, not the police. They didn't get in trouble. They didn't go to jail like they should have. If you or I or 5 other people ran out and beat the shit out of somebody, don't you think we'd probably go to jail for doing that? Of course we would. Of course we would. Not if you're a cop. If you're a cop, do whatever you want, because that's what cops do, whatever they want, because nobody holds them accountable. We have to start holding our police officers more accountable. It should be so easy to go to jail as a police officer. It really should. They should have to watch their ass every time they step out of their police car to confront somebody about anything. And I say that because as an enforcer of law, you should be the ultimate authority and the ultimate example of law. And if you do not abide by the law, the punishments that are doled out against those that are supposed to enforce the law, that are breaking them, should be far more severe than it is for a normal citizen who, in fact, could claim ignorance of a law. I know the courts don't see it that way, but there are so many laws out there that it is very easy to not have known that one existed that you just broke. Anyway, that's it for right now. I'll have some more videos coming up very soon. Hit the subscribe button and share this video. Get it out there. We need to get people to start calling on their government officials and police departments to start holding these bastards accountable for everything that they do. We need to push for legislation that makes it even easier for an officer to go to jail for the things that he does, and the punishment should be more severe than if he were just a normal citizen. That's the way it should go. If you don't understand the law, you cannot enforce the law, and you should not be walking around with a gun and power over people. That's just the way it goes. This is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. Peace out.